Hello, everybody. This is Deathlore, the Warped Gamer.
And this is Z from Fukari Gaming.
We're here for episode 2 of the Mariner Design Corner, where we're working on basically some no frills, high comfort flight suit for pilots, or not pilots, civilians.
Yeah, it's gonna be the only, well, I won't say it's the only no frills design because none of our designs are gonna be particularly flamboyant. Um, this is, however, going to be the only civilian suit that we will ever make. Like, none of our other seasons, none of our other projects are going to be intended for the civilian market.
In fact, they'll be pretty heavily militarized.
Yeah, not to rehash the entire first episode, but it's important to keep in mind when tackling our designs and watching what we do that we are making stuff specifically intended to fight and kill Vanduul. That's our mission. But humble beginnings. Right now we are refining the pilot armor that we started last week.
Right. So one of the discussion points before was how I'd always thought about armor from different games, and they always have these funky looking butt plates on all the armor, and I always thought if that'd be comfortable to sit on. I wonder if it's molded just for you in on the inside, or if they're just totally uncomfortable and it's just a pain to wear. I don't know.
Yeah, and having been in the military, admittedly only briefly, I can say with a great deal of familiarity with wearing the armor, it's not comfortable. It's not something you really want to have down there because that plate lines up perfectly with your butt cheeks. And it pinches. That's the best word I can use for it. It pinches.
Are you seeing
So
this
indeed.
stream up?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Awesome.
Yeah, there was another stream that was broadcasting via XSplit. That was the one that had the title on it that we were giggling about before this one started. The no butt plate.
No butt plate.
Ah, and it was only when I'm like, I can't see anything. I can't see anything. Where's Deathlord? Then I was like, wait a second. Let's try this. Let's go look somewhere else. And here
Yeah.
I am.
Here we go. We're rolling now.
Yeah,
we're on top of it this time.
all the shenanigans have been fixed. Ah,
So speaking of butt plate, on the other side, what about the cod piece? I've always thought that would be super uncomfortable too.
so the cod piece actually is less uncomfortable. Again, speaking from experience wearing body armor, uh, actually both as a civilian and as a soldier, because in martial arts training, if you don't wear a codpiece, you're gonna get hurt.
You're asking for it.
um, from experience, I can say that the it's a lot more comfortable having a cod piece on the front of your body than a plate on your butt. Because with the cod piece, and we see this on, I really kind of want to say most sci-fi armor except maybe Spartan armor in the Halo universe, it very distinctly cups between the wearer's legs, and it's clearly shaped to the contour of the thigh,
Mm-hmm.
so
So
that
it's
it
like
fits.
there's been some thought going into for the wear, so it's customized. because everyone's different. We're all
Yeah.
different size and shape and
Yeah,
fat
there's
percentage and
always a little
muscle.
more care taken on the front to create a cod piece that, it's not going to bite into your thighs because with a butt plate, and that's the thing, a butt plate's only a problem when you're sitting down, which is why we're cutting it off this suit because these guys are going to be sitting for a really long time. But a cod piece, sitting down, walking, running, any kind of maneuvering you have to do, if it's not shaped very precisely to the juncture of the thigh, you're gonna hurt a lot.
And let's face it, nobody wants to hurt a
No,
lot.
especially when your job is hurting someone or something else. You get done with your job and take your armor off and you look at yourself and go like, okay, who actually won that fight?
Right. So the armor is going to be thinner for mobility and comfort, but it still has to offer protection.
Right, without sacrificing any of the other things that we need. And since this is the civilian armor, it does have a slightly high the comfort and mobility has a slightly higher priority level uh than will be visible in our more combat oriented suits where we are assuming that the wearers are okay sacrificing a certain degree of their mobility for a certain increase to their survival chances. I'm just gonna say this from behind. I'm looking at the you drawing the leg, the thigh armor,
Mm-hmm.
and the first thing that popped into my head is assless chaps.
Assless chaps. That's what these are.
Oh man! Don't worry, guys. We will not leave, guys and girls. We will not leave your butt cheeks hanging out to the cold vacuum of space. You will have a jumpsuit. There will be a jumpsuit. Ignore death lore. You will be protected.
That would be pretty funny.
It would be. It's something we might do for like an April Fool's. Make a special variant of the armor that actually doesn't have any coverage for your butt cheeks, and be like, okay, ta-da, it's done.
And in all reality, just because it's not armor plated doesn't mean it's totally bereft of armor. I mean, this can be some sort of a high-tech fabric that absorbs ballistics or even thermal radiation to protect from like laser charges or something to that effect. But it doesn't. It's just not going to be quite as heavy as
Well, the thing we
actual
see
armor.
in a lot of sci-fi uh, armor when it comes with an undersuit, um, like this does, like Mandalorian armor does, like Spartan armor from the Halo universe, the undersuit actually fulfills a lot of functions. The bodysuit is where the actual pressurization comes from. It's where the seal comes from to keep you from being exposed to hard vacuum. It regulates your body temperature. It monitors your biosigns. Um, it's self-sealing, so a minor puncture, it will seal itself to protect you. Things like that. Potentially being able to harden at a point of impact, so blunt force trauma might not do quite as much damage. So, you know, when you're sitting down for a long time, that's something you're going to be happy about. As you can see, the armor protects the front of the knee, and it looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Deathlord, but the way you're drawing the knee armor, it looks like it's a part of the greave. So it's the
Yeah,
actual thigh, it's the actual shin calf armor coming
right.
up
So
from the
it'll
boot.
basically be like that. Or this is the calf. This is your ankle. And your toes. Because that's important to note.
Yes, toes are very important. This armor does come with boots, so you don't have to worry about stubbing them. Because boy, does that hurt.
Ah,
Now, the nice thing about having the knee plate integrated into the armor of the calf is that it allows you to cut the armor off below the actual joint of your knee, which is really nice because then you sit down, and especially if you're sitting down in a cramped area, you don't have to worry about a band around the back of your knee from something sitting directly on the kneecap.
and that is
That could,
uncomfortable.
yeah, that will cut even with the the bodysuit, that will cut into the tendons and the muscles, which could cost you vital seconds if you have to move in a hurry. And it's going to make sitting down for a long time really, really difficult. Now, we know there's no reason to believe that CIG will include a physical discomfort mechanic in the game. In fact, there's a really good reason to believe they won't. But the mark of a good, we believe the mark of a well-made design is you can believe it regardless of the mechanics of the world it's working in. We
Okay.
don't want someone to look at this and say, oh, that's so unrealistic that it doesn't cover the back of the knee with a strap. We want someone to look at it and go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'd wear that.
I'd wear that.
Highest endorsement we can get. If enough people say it, you guys might actually even get the chance.
Ooh, that's a monstrous calf. I'm sorry.
Someone hasn't skipped leg day.
Not once in 30 years.
Ever since I enlisted in the UAE Navy. I love how you didn't write thigh, you wrote thin.
Thin. It's thin armor. It's thin thighs?
I don't know, maybe it's his aspirations.
It's
He's eaten a few too many Benny's noodles.
not enough noodles.
Or too many.
Okay.
As you guys can see, we do have a sense of humor about what we're doing. Yeah, we're not taking ourselves too seriously.
Need more noodles.
Yes, we will accept payment in Benny's noodles. So if you guys want to keep this project going, donate Benny's noodles to Z or to Deathlore.
I've just decided I'm going to have some open graffiti all over as we go through our design corner videos.
Have like a themed graffiti for each episode.
Yeah.
Okay, the theme of this week's episode is noodles.
Noodles.
Make of that what you will. Right, so as stated before, this week's episode, we're really focused on kind of starting to nail down the base armor, what the plates look like, what the final look of the torso, the arms, the legs, how they work together. The helmet is going to be a separate thing because helmets, from prior experience, we've figured out can be pretty bloody tricky. Uh oh.
What? Uh-oh, what?
Uh, I'm getting the spinny ring on my screen. Come on, internet, don't fail me now.
Has it ever failed you in the past?
Once or twice. I'm gonna be optimistic. Um, and once we've nailed down kind of the base look, yeah, it's buffering. I can't. If you're drawing anything, I can't see it.
Well, that's too bad.
There we go. Reloaded. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Problem solved. Yeah, that would have been too bad. But once we've nailed down all the base details and we're both satisfied with the basement level of the suit, we're gonna move to the next step and we're gonna start showing where equipment hard points are, where you can clip, say, sidearm or a multi-tool, med pens, oxygen canisters, communicators, things like that, where those will connect to your armor. Which I'm actually really looking forward to. I think that could end up being quite a lot of fun.
Alright, so what are you thinking for... I mean, looking at the back, I know this is like a minimalistic sort of idea of armor. How much of the back is really going to be exposed? I mean, is this going... I think about some of the pilot suits that are currently on Star Citizen. I just think that's so unprotecting.
Yeah, you do have a point.
I mean, granted, as a civilian or as a pilot, you're not going to be in gunfire. That's not what you don't go to work thinking, oh, I'm going to be shot at today. But you
Yeah,
need some
and
basic protection from flying debris, you know?
yeah, and we do have to take into account that the normal human response to something blowing up or about to blow up is to turn your back on it and run away. That kind of there's a challenge in that, which is, if we fill in the shoulder blade areas with armor,
Mm-hmm.
and we're thinking about, okay, we're assuming this is where the main threat is going to come from. Like the front of the armor is functional, but it's kind of, I'm getting a sense, kind of, having a sense of, on this armor and only this armor, it's kind of the least dense part,
Right.
because the assumption is that the chest armor is probably going to be facing away from the actual threat, namely whatever is exploding that you're running away from as fast as you possibly can. But the challenge of that is you're sitting down, and there's other good reasons to have the armor on the back be thicker and heavier. Um, that will carry over to our combat armors, but there it'll be more uniform density of armor plating. If you're mounting EVA packs or any kind of EVA system, you need thicker armor to absorb the kick of your maneuvering jets.
And honestly, though, I think if you're in that sort of line of work, I think there would be a different suit. more geared for that application.
Yeah,
I
probably
think
a
I
big
wonder
one.
if maybe this should be more the um like desk job kind of suit.
You roll out of your bunk, you put on your suit,
Yeah,
and you go and you
just
sit down and man a turret. Or you go and you sit down and you're working on the bridge.
right.
Yeah,
So maybe even these like shoulder pads should really like it should just be a shoulder pad, like just very minimal. And
yeah.
same with the back. Maybe we don't even need any armor on the back.
Well, I'm thinking about it, and now that you bring this point up, that this is the armor for someone whose job is to be at a station. And they're sitting in their station or in their pilot's chair. Their back is armored.
They're in a chair.
Exactly. And we already see this in our world. Uh, our world. My God, I
Our
almost
world.
in in the present day and going back to World War II, where the only armor that was often fitted to a fighter jet or often bombers was either actually the pilot and gunner's chair or a plate directly behind them. So it's entirely believable that in the Star Citizen universe, there is a degree of armoring to your pilot stations. But we still need to keep the collar section, if only just to keep the chest plate from having everyone wondering, how is it not falling off? And that's kind of a reason I think we should keep the what we have by way of back armor, if only to keep people from wondering, how does the chest plate stay attached?
Albeit, I think that this will get thinner. I think the chest plate will probably get thinner than what I have drawn here. And it's hard to really see in a rough sketch, anyways. But
Yeah, I think the actual sense of density of materials can be conveyed through a sketch, but I think the really clear sense for the viewers will come from the 3D work as we're approaching the end of this particular project.
I think just to show a side view here of the chest plate is it will really be very thin between the person's body and the outside of the armor. Should be really thin. It's not going to be bulky. It just looks like that because it's so bright and so drawn out here in the sketch, whereas the rest of the body is not.
Yeah, just keep in mind, everybody, as you're watching this, that the entire purpose of these early episodes, really for us as the creators, is to hash out a very general sense of, okay, what are we looking at? What are we after? And what do we think works or doesn't work? And as we've learned in past projects, we could send what we think is a really high quality concept art onto our modder, and he'll come back to us in the episodes we do with him and be like, okay, guys, I get what you guys are looking for, but it's not going to work. And that's a very real, very real risk in uh, in any kind of design work, not just in the gaming industry, but also in film and television, where you think you've got an idea for something and then you try it out and you realize this looked much better or was much more comfortable in our head. Yeah. Fortunately, none of us have to actually try and make this armor in the real world to wear and try out.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It would be so cool. I would probably never take it off to the annoyance of everyone around me, uh, assuming it was comfortable.
Never take it off? Let's
Sleeping
be
like a
realistic.
Mandalorian. Uh, but it's that kind of crash testing is an essential part of the design process. We'll just be doing it in 3D because of the members of this team. Pretty sure that you're the only one with an actual talent for making, for like carving things and making things by hand in the real world. And you're on the other side of the country from me, so
Yeah, it makes for difficult collaborations, huh?
sometimes, mostly getting the timing down pat.
All right, well, I think this is probably a good spot to end episode 2.
Yeah.
We'll come back next week, probably same time, same place. The internet.
Here on the YouTubes.
So we'll work more in detailing out this armor next time. If there's any questions or comments, please leave a comment. Tune in next time. It'll be 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 Central. You get the rest of it. Next Saturday.
9 p.m. 9 a.m. Eastern time.
Right. On Saturday. So if any of you guys want to be part of this, get on, chat with us during that time, please do. Give us some feedback, and
we'd love to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
And until next time, everybody.
This is Death Lore.
I'm Z.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Okay.